Happy Monday morning, Run Tribe Bike community, and welcome to our Fiery Ember show. Thank you for joining us today. And just as a quick reminder, this show is not about tips, tricks, and plans to get you fitter, faster, or stronger. If that happens, consider it a bonus is what I'm getting at this point. So this show is to provide you with some laughs within training and racing by having a chat with everyday athletes about, the absurd and the fun stuff, such as what is the last meal you would eat before blasting off into outer space with Matt Damon? Today, I'm going to be joined by Adam Barker, who's the founder of Bolt Skin Shave, which is the first brand to cater entirely and specifically to men who shave their legs. And I would be their target market. So let's get Adam on the show and let's have some good laughs. Hey, Adam, how are you, man?
Good, Jason. Good. How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. When I was talking to Hendy via a Google Meet a few months ago, he mentioned Bolt and he mentioned that it was a razor for men. And I just started laughing. And he's like, why are you laughing? I was like, man, I've been shaving my legs for like 15 years. And I've never heard of a razor for men or anything like that. So I can't believe that somebody finally took the step to say, let's appeal to men.
It's about time, right? It's about time we showed up. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same camp. I've been a cyclist forever. I've shaved my legs with a pink razor and a bar of soap, like you did. Never really learned how. Like jumped into the shower, jumped out looking like I wrestled with a chainsaw. Fill in the blanks, all the things, and yeah, man, I just thought this is in like any entrepreneur. This is like if you're solving a personal problem, that's what you're going to be most passionate about. But it took a second. I just thought to myself, there's a lot of men that shave their legs, whether it's for an athletic pursuit, like what we talk about a lot here, or just because they like how it looks and how it feels. And so, yeah, man, here we are.
Yeah, dude. When I first started shaving my legs, it was definitely about the athletic pursuit, right? You read all the studies, and you could save, X% of speed and all of these things. And then after a while, I'm like, it just looks good and it feels good, and I'm gonna go with the aesthetic look as opposed to the performance look. So, as a target market for you, thank you for doing this. So let's get something settled once and for all when it comes to cycling. Socks.
Yes.
How tall should they be?
Oh man. Okay. I'm glad you asked this because I'm very passionate about this subject. I personally am like a mid calf, like longer. Okay. I don't want to go like knee sock, but I'm not ankle sock guy either. I like mid calf, like somewhere, you know, tall enough that. And the other thing is for me, I have such skinny legs. They gotta stay up. I've used so many socks where like after, two or three wears, it's like granny panties just like sagging down to the ankle, and I'm like, I can't do it. Like when are you gonna make socks for the toothpick legs out there?
Uh, I am not an ankle sock guy either. I was when I was a triathlete, just because you had to get out of your cycling shoes and into running shoes at some point. But I'm more of a just below the calf. I don't know what they call that length anymore these
Like
days, but
crew.
that
I think that's a
yeah,
crew sock, right?
yeah, I think it's a crew sock. I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's the seasons have changed. It's getting darker earlier now, thanks
Hmm.
to daylight savings time yesterday, which means the temperatures have also dropped. So you're out in Salt Lake, which is going to be a little chilly. When you're getting ready to go out on the bike nowadays, are you full finger gloves with sleeves? Do you have knee warmers? Like, what's the attire look like for you these days?
Okay, so this might be disappointing for you, but my attire still looks like bibs and maybe a t-shirt or a jersey because I usually go downstairs in my trainer as soon as it gets cold outside. I don't ride my bike. I don't love to ride it in the dark and in the cold. If I had
Same.
to, I would, but I'm a skier, and in Utah, we ski in the winter.
There you go.
I love to ride my bike, but all like when I see dudes riding their bike in December and January and February, there's two things I think. Number one, I'm like, man, you are one committed mofo. And then the second is you're a total idiot. Dude, it is freezing out here. It is not the
Yes.
season. There's so many
Yes.
other ways to get your intervals in. There's so many other ways to get your training on, but to each their own. So bibs, t-shirt comes off after a second.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Like I'm in SoCal and the weather is still really nice out here, 65 degrees. So it's cool to be able to get outside. But once that temperature hits 55, I'm out. Like there's no
Yeah,
chance I'm indoors riding a bike because I don't enjoy freezing my fingers off, my face getting windswept. I'm not
totally.
about that. Like, put me on the trainer. I'm with you.
And I will say, like, just to button that up, I don't love being on the trainer either, but you can get a lot of work done, in an hour. Like I used to there were winters where I would be like totally committed to the trainer. Well, I'll say there was one. And then I was like, you know what? I'm good. I need an off season. I just want like my base fitness to maintain to stay. And I'm not a professional athlete. So
Right.
it's not, if this were my job, maybe I'd be a little bit more focused. But give me an hour, 2 or 3 times a week where I can get my heart rate up, get my sweat on. But I'm not the Zwifter 5 times a day, 5:30 in the morning. I got too many buddies that do that, and they're picking up my slack.
So what are you doing when you're on the trainer? If you actually get on the trainer, are you streaming movies, TV shows, music, nothing at all, just staring at the wall?
No, dude, it's got to be Netflix. Netflix, it's so great for just binge watching. Like, I love the Netflix documentaries like on F1 or golf or,
Yes.
all of those. They're just great, like mindless
Yep.
stuff. If I have to concentrate too much on it, and like, let's say like it's an interval day where it's like, what's happening here? And like, I am a terrible multitasker. So it's got to be some pretty mindless watching. And yeah, man, what a gift, right? For us to be able
It,
to train and also kind of like just check out a little bit.
it's fantastic. I've been streaming the starting five while I'm on the treadmill or while I'm on the spin bike right now, which
Okay.
is on Netflix about five NBA stars. And they just released a 3-part series on the Boston Red Sox in 2004 when they came back from 3-0. Clearly, I'm a sports fan too. So
Yeah, yeah.
um, they're perfect. So let's stick with the times have rolled back. It's dark as fuck, super early these days. Pumpkin spice or apple cider now that we're in the fall?
Apple cider.
There
Pumpkin
you go.
spice feels a little frumpy at one point. It's like apple cider is just more kind of homey. It just feels a little less stinky blanket.
Yeah, I finished my ride. It was like 65 degrees on Saturday, and Scratch makes a recovery drink that has apple cider, or a hydration drink that's apple cider. So it was perfect. Get the electrolytes back in you and get that warm apple cider flavor in there
For
too.
sure.
All right, you're in Salt Lake City. I am a reality TV show junkie. Like I love it all. Like
Yes.
you're an entrepreneur. You work your ass off all day. Your brain is going 100 miles an hour. Like the last thing I want to do when I'm sitting on the couch is have to think and process too much. So
Right.
I'm a reality show junkie. It sounds like you might be too. Have you seen the Mom Talk show on Hulu yet about the Salt Lake City ladies out there?
Is it the Mormon Housewives? Is that the one?
Yeah.
All right. So let's just like I am a pretty legit trash TV consumer, but when it comes to like Real Housewives, I have to check out. Like I have tried to do that with my wife, and I get dumb enough as it is throughout the day. If I watch too much of that, like the dumb threshold, it like the dumb, I just get too dumb. I can't get it back the next day. So I'm gonna disappoint you. I don't watch the Real Housewives. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh, so
But I
the Hulu,
appreciate it.
yeah, the Hulu one is like the Real
Yeah.
Housewives. I don't watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but I am a Real Housewives of New York and a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fan. Clearly, because I've
Okay.
lived in those two places. But this Mom Talk thing one that's on Hulu, I forget what the hell the name of it is. It's similar in premise, of course, but it is different in the way that they edit it and stuff like that because it's all based on how TikTok blew these ladies up. It's
Huh.
incredible,
Interesting.
and it's like 6 or 7 episodes. It may come
Okay.
back. I have no idea. So
I'll,
if your wife decides to watch it, just dumb yourself down for a
I'll put
moment,
it
get
on the
into it.
list. I'll put it on the bucket list.
you your profile says that you were a professional photographer for 15 years. In the green room, you said you traveled the world. Greatest thing you've eaten when you were traveling the world taking pictures?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Greatest thing I've eaten. I like good or like crazy.
Both.
Yeah. Man, okay, I'm totally blanking, so I'm gonna throw you. I'll tell you one of the craziest things I've ever done is actually gotten my hair cut at some random village in the high mountains of Sapa, Vietnam, with like this rusty ass razor, and So I took a hard left there, but same kind of thing. It was very questionable. Like, who knows where this razor had been used, but I needed a haircut. I don't even have any hair, but I like to trim it, you know? Yep. Yeah. You and I are the same.
Bolt was born in the high
Let me
mountains of
think on,
Vietnam.
yeah, let me think on the eating thing. Well, I will say one of the best things is fresh caught sushi on the beach on a little atoll in the middle of the Indian Ocean called Cosmolito. So I
Oh,
was
that sounds.
there shooting fly fishing. Took 48 hours to get to this joint from my home in Salt Lake City. Planes, trains, automobiles, fill in all the blanks. And basically, people fly fishing, saltwater fly fishing is a big thing. Excuse me, saltwater fly fishing is a big thing in the fly fishing community. You go, you catch these amazing game fish in the ocean. And Cosmolito Atoll is kind of the pinnacle. People pay a lot of money to go to this place for a week, and all that exists there is this, sand spit, a stretch of land, the Alphonse Island, or I can't remember the name of the company, but they've converted like shipping containers into these like 5-star luxury little rooms. It's totally self-contained. It's totally self-supported. They get like a support, like a ship once every season to bring in their food. In any case, so very remote. It's beyond gorgeous, and yeah, enjoyed like one of the most amazing sunsets ever with this sushi spread that would have made Nobu blush.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing you've ever had while traveling?
Oh man.
That you were like, there is no way somebody thought this was going to taste good.
Yeah, I was like again like at a market in Vietnam early in my photo career. I did some photo workshops back there. I would teach them,
Mm-hmm.
and walking through this dingy market, like tried this like duck egg or whatever it was. It was not right.
I can see
I
your
don't know that it
face
was meant for.
already.
I don't know that it was meant for human consumption. Apparently, it was. I don't know. It's like if you were to. It's like if you were to go to 7-Eleven and mix up the dog treats with the human. Like they keep them right on the counter. Maybe I did that back then. I don't even know.
Like, never again am I
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
this.
No.
Well, I love food, dude, and I love talking about food. And in the intro, I said one of the absurd questions would be the last meal you would eat before blasting off to Mars with Matt Damon. As you know, he blasted off to Mars and wound up having a sweet potato farm out there. So, what's the last
Mhm.
meal you're going to eat before you get in that spaceship to head to Mars with Matt Damon, and knowing that you're only going to be eating sweet potatoes for the rest of your life?
Yeah, that really helps. And I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I'm a meat eater, man. So I'm going for some red meat, like tomahawk steak, medium rare, maybe almost rare. That's it. That's kind of vanilla. Probably it's not too exciting, but dude, like last meal is serious business. So I'm not gonna take something that it sounds really sexy. I'm taking a steak.
You got to eat what you want to eat, right? And not worry about what, Susie in Stockton, California is going to say about it when you post it before you blast off into
Yeah.
Mars.
What about you, Jason? What's your last meal
So
today? You probably said it before, but what's your last meal today that you ate?
yeah, I think the answer is still the same. So I'm not a meat eater. I
Okay.
went plant based about 15 years ago, but my last meal would absolutely be um, a fried pork chop with rice and beans. I'm Puerto Rican,
Okay.
so chuleta with arroz con gandules, right? Which is literally a fried pork chop with rice and beans because it just brings back memories of family,
Love
my
it.
mother. It tasted great. Can't go wrong,
Yeah. Yeah.
And look, I'm going to be back on the plant-based bandwagon when I'm in Mars eating only a sweet
Right.
potato. So why not have it for my last meal
Yeah.
before I take off?
I'm a fan.
Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
No, that's a no go for
Yes,
me. That's a no go. I might
yes.
even have to cut you out of my will. If you're one of my kids and you put pineapple on your pizza, it's not happening. There's
I'm with
certain
you.
there's certain fundamental things. We got a big political day tomorrow. I think pineapple on pizza almost ranks as high as some of the things we're voting for
It's
tomorrow.
out, dude. I arm wrestle with people all the time about this because I ask them, you say you like pineapple on pizza, but 9 times out of 10, you're like, yeah, but it has to have jalapenos or Canadian bacon or ham or something else with it, which tells me you don't like pineapple on pizza. Like
Yeah,
you
that
just won't eat pineapple on pizza.
that tells me you hate pizza. Like your pizza is standing right in front of you, you would punch it in the face. That's what you're doing when you put pineapple on it.
I got to tell you, there's an account on Threads called NYC Pizza Review, and they post pictures of slices of New York City pizza like every day, every other day,
Yeah,
and like you could just feel the waterworks in your mouth happening the moment that picture hits your feed. It's incredible.
I'll have to check it out.
Have you been to New York City? Have you been in?
Yeah, yeah. Spent some time back there. So I got three boys, and for each of their 12-year-old trips. So my boys are 18, 15, and 12, and we're taking them to New York. And man, I love it. I got to be honest, especially as a guy that grew up in the mountains. Although Salt Lake City, it's no New York or it's no Chicago or San Francisco, but it's still a
Right.
city. So
Yeah.
I like getting that contrast. So I love going to New York. I love the hustle and bustle for like three or 4 days, and then I'm about there. We used to go the weekend of the New York City Marathon, which I'm pretty sure was just happened.
Yeah, it
And
just
we
happened.
loved it because you could rent bikes and ride through Central Park with no traffic.
Yep.
So that would kind of be our weekend to go. And I've been to last year, my wife and I went to the US Open, which has been a bucket list thing forever. So,
That event, for anybody who's never attended, I don't care if you like tennis or not, you have to go.
yeah.
It is intense. I was in Arthur Ashe Stadium in the last row, sitting in the top deck, watching two guys, had no idea who the hell they were,
Yeah.
just smashing tennis balls all over the place, and it was electric. And I told you I love food, and that year, one of the food items they served were strawberries and cream crepes
Mm,
with some Nutella spread. Oh my
okay.
goodness. Like, I don't know if the food made the event better or if the event made the food better, but that whole combination was
Just worked.
phenomenal.
I got to add one other bucket list thing too, along those same lines. Like whether it is not New York, but whether you love racing or not. So I grew up loving cars, and we went to the Indianapolis 500. I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 years ago with my dad and my brother. And whether you love racing or not, you got to go see that. The spectacle is unbelievable. I want to say it's like 200, 300,000 people there, and it's just unbelievable. Take your earplugs and settle in. I'm sure they got good food there too.
I want to go back to cycling for a minute because cyclists are well known for stopping mid ride for a coffee or a gas station snack. If you're stopping mid ride for a gas station snack, what are you loading up on?
Chocolate donut, and V8. Like, and
V8.
V8 sodium. It's like if it because it's not. I'll be honest. Like our program up here in Utah, it's not like the LA Malibu scene. Like we're not coffee shop hopping. Mostly because like we climb a lot around here. Not that
Yeah.
there's not climbs out there, but there, you know, and I think personally too, I like to get in the zone and stay in the zone. But on longer rides, we will stop at gas stations, and it's always chocolate donut and V8. V8 is kind of like the secret weapon. V8 or pickle juice, but you're not buying pickle juice at the gas station. But on like long 6, 7 hour rides, V8, man, like it's as salty as you can get without just sucking on a salt cube, pretty much. I swear. And there's some other good stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, I love, spicy tomato juice. I'm with you on that, but I never thought about it, mid ride. But that might have to enter the menu options at this
You
point.
should. It's got to be cold, or it's a little tough to stomach, right?
You prefer to climb or descend?
I love both, man. I like the constant pressure on the pedals of climbing, right? Easy to maintain, whatever zone effort you're putting in. But I was built to go downhill and downhill fast. I love it. I do a lot of dirt biking as well. I don't ride like motocross like a truck, but trail, and I do a lot of mountain biking. And I was talking about this with a buddy the other day. It's like, as I've grown older, tried to minimize the risk somewhat, but also the enjoyability factor goes way down if I'm not going fast enough, right? So
Yep.
I love, and we've got some like unreal climbs and mountain descents, right 10 minutes from my front door is Little Cottonwood Canyon. It's 3,500 feet of climbing and 9 miles. Um, you know, it's a pretty legit climb, and then the descent is pretty harrowing as well. But you get real comfortable real quick, or real uncomfortable real quick. So you gotta focus on what's going on.
You do have to pay attention. Like I would prefer to climb than descend. I'm a white knuckler on the descents
Okay.
oftentimes. there's a climb right outside my front door as well. It's not as steep as yours. I think we get about 600 feet of elevation gain in about 3.5 to 4 miles, somewhere in that vicinity. But then you got to go back down. So it takes me about 20 minutes to go up and about 3 minutes to go down. And as I'm screaming going down, like I can feel myself feathering the brakes and looking behind me, make sure no cars are coming or no peloton of 5 or 6 cyclists are flying, getting ready to surpass me and catch me up in their draft and pull me along. What's one of the prettiest places you've ridden your bike?
Oh, let's see. Probably Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. It's pretty flat, but gorgeous. Gorgeous. Like, there's a reason that, and again, this kind of ties back to my prior career, but people would ask me, what's one of your favorite places that you traveled to or photographed? It probably comes down to the same thing with the bike is Grand Teton. It's all right there from the road. The views are unbelievable. It's super accessible. And it's funny how those mountains change as you travel from south to north. Like, kind of the profile, they go from pointy to more pointy to super jagged to strung out. It's cool. So Grand Teton, definitely one of the more beautiful places I've ridden my bike for sure.
Awesome. So we have a show on our network called What's in Your Earbuds. So I'm going to present this question to you. You're about to enter either into a crit or you're doing a 100-mile bike race, and they ask, Adam Barker, what song do you want us to play as we introduce you as you roll up to the start line? What's going to be your walk-up song or ride-up song?
Oh man, all these questions. It's so cliche. It's so cliche. I almost feel ridiculous putting myself in this vanilla box, but AC/DC Back in Black. It's hard not to get fired up with that. It sounds so shallow to say, but it's true.
Adam's rolling up with a bottle of apple cider and
Yeah.
AC/DC's Back in Black. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I mean, white bald guy. I don't even know. It probably doesn't all come together, but that's the first one. I mean, I could tell you like a bunch of country songs that I listen to on my AirPods because I actually found that I'm the guy, and I found this out way back in the day when I would sometimes listen to music when I was skiing. If I listen to like really rowdy music, it just contributes to a very unsafe practice of whatever I'm doing.
Yes.
Like I just kind of get too fired up. So I've found that like and even if I'm looking to just hammer on the pedals, like feel good music, I do just as good with feel good music as I do with like Rage Against the Machine or something.
Yeah, like I stopped running with music because trying to follow a training plan that's like, okay, this is going to be easy or, easy paced or whatever, and that music hits, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be running my ass off now with this song. And I was like, you know what, if I'm going to really follow the training plan, I just got to stop running with music. So it's been about like maybe 15 years. I probably quit meat the same time I quit listening to music while I was running.
All right.
It's too hard to stay in control. My answer to that question is Narcos by Timmy Trumpets. I am a huge Mets fan, and Edwin Diaz, who is their closer, walks into this song, and I'm going to email you the video of it. Not just like, I don't want you to just go and go on Spotify and search for the song. You've got to watch the whole entire entrance with it. And I'm telling you, you might change your mind on your roll-up song when it comes to getting ready to enter that crit.
I could probably use a little musical expansion, obviously, from my selection, but.
Speaking of crits, have you ever participated in one? And before you answer, like, they scare the living shit out of me as a spectator. Like, I couldn't imagine what it's like being in the middle of one of those races.
Yeah, I've actually never done crits. By the time I kind of picked up road biking, in my mid-20s, and at that point, it was really just, road riding and more endurance stuff. And I'm built pretty well for crits in that, not like as to be perfectly honest, not from a strength standpoint, but mentally, like I'm not really afraid of that. However, I'm just not willing to deal with the sacrifice and the potential consequences. And I know how my brain works, and I'm competitive. And yeah, man, I just don't want to hit the deck. I've hit the deck plenty of times, and at this age, I just don't want to do it anymore. But it looks rad, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. Like, I used to live in Dallas, Texas, and McKinney had Bike the Bricks, which was a pretty popular crit race out there.
Okay.
And I've seen the videos on YouTube down in Red Hook in Brooklyn, and like those dudes are just hauling ass. And all
Yep.
I can think about is, to your point, hitting the deck and just the sheer amount of pain. Because I too have hit the deck. I've cracked my helmet and broken it, and like,
Yep.
not interested in that shit. No thanks.
Yeah, the juice has got to be worth the squeeze, right? And
Yeah,
like, I think that juice is only worth that squeeze when you're like high teens, early
right.
20s, maybe at latest like late 20s. So to all you guys that are doing it that are older than that, like this is Karen on the mic saying, "Be careful." But yeah, the juice just. I wish I would have. I wish I would have done it when I were younger and was okay with like, okay, I'm gonna give her, and whatever happens, happens. Because right now I'd be like, nope, no.
All right, we're running out of time, so I got to go back to food.
Okay,
Chocolate chip cookies or oatmeal raisin cookies?
chocolate chip, not even a question.
Not even a question. Oreos. How do you eat Oreos?
One bite, just
Toss it
whole
all
thing.
in.
That's right, all in, man. I don't like crumbs. I don't like crumbs, man.
My guy, I am. I eat. I say I eat Oreos like aspirin. Like, I just pop them in there. I'm
Yep.
not. I'm not screwing around with milk or anything else.
Nope.
Red velvet cake. Is red velvet a real flavor, or is it just chocolate cake dressed up to go to the prom?
It's a real flavor, man. That'd be a disservice to chocolate.
Halloween just happened, and you have 3 kids. Which candies are you like trying to sneak out of their bag?
Oh man, again, it's so vanilla, but so I'm not a big candy guy. Like peanut M&Ms. That's what I like. Just a modest amount. I'm pretty good at like portions, right? So it's like I'll just take a couple peanut M&Ms and we'll call it good. Yeah.
If you're not a candy guy, what's the vice? What's the thing that you're like, man, I can't wait to get some
Red
of
Bull.
that.
Red
Red
Bull.
Bull.
I have a Red Bull every morning. Caffeine doesn't really do much for me. It's just like my comfort drink, right? It's like wrapping yourself in a nice warm blanket of Red Bull.
One of my favorite flavors of Red Bull, and it's been some time since I had one, is the pear.
Okay.
It is so good. Like, it literally tastes like you're eating a pear.
Yeah, it's
It's
good.
crisp. It's fantastic.
I've tried to cut back. I try and go sugar free. That's how I justify. But my vice of vices is the yellow. Like I like the it was like the summer edition way back when. So if I'm
Yeah,
really treating myself, I'll go for the yellow.
that's awesome. Hey, Adam, thanks for joining me. But before I let you go, let the people know where they can find Bolt, for men who shave their legs, and for the partners of men who shave their legs. Where can they find the product?
100%. So we're online. We're at boltshave.com. So that's BOLT shave.com. You can find us on Instagram at Bolt Skin Shave. We are going to have some good Black Friday sales coming up. And, I'll just give a little plug. Whatever you've been using to shave your legs or your body, honestly, like our product is so much better, man. The biggest thing that we get is the reviews. Everybody's just like, I had a modest expectation, and it's so much smoother, so much safer, so much more efficient, and just so much more comfortable. So, yeah, boltshave.com is where we're at.
And I will say this, that Adam is not paying me to say this. I'm not an ambassador. I had the product sent to me by Hendy, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. My favorite thing about your product, Adam, is the menthol smell
Yeah,
of the shaving cream. Like, it just brings me back to like Vicks Vapor Rub of being a kid, when your
yeah,
mom's rubbing it on your chest because you're sick as shit. I love the smell, and the product is great. The razor was great. It's heavy too, by the way.
right.
Like, it has heft to it, so when you're using it, as opposed to like a disposable razor that you're just going to chuck afterwards. um, it's
Yeah,
a great product.
that's one of the biggest differences, the weight combined with the sharpness of the blades, because they're tuned for coarser leg hair specifically for men. So you really don't press hard on your skin. There's no skin irritation. There's no nicks and cuts. And like you said, we got some really nice light fragrances, and especially too when you're done using that shaving cream, you jump out of the shower, that cool air hits your legs, and
It,
like,
it
dang,
it's fantastic, man. Seriously,
right
from
on.
a leg shaver to the audience, this is a product worth getting your hands on. And again, Adam's not paying me to say this stuff. I'm saying it because I've used the product and it's fantastic. Adam Barker, Bolt Razor. Thank you so much for joining us on Fiery Embers. And we'll have to get you on to our fireside chat to talk more about the entrepreneurial journey and the heavy lifting that takes place between concept and finished product selling out the door. Thanks for joining me, man. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Right on, Jason. You as well. Thanks for having me.